Hey guys, welcome to my tiny home gym slash living room slash kitchen slash office space right here, such as the reality of 2020. And I wanted to really quickly talk about something I'm pretty passionate about, and that's keeping things really simple when you're working with project management or just implementation of a new process, anything that comes to mind. Now, you can apply this to anything, and we all know what it means to keep things simple. But I want to give you a quick story and then connect it back to what we do in helping companies with their strategic plans. So, where I'm from is a village called Greendale, Wisconsin. And in fact, I'm enjoying my coffee from a mug that I purchased from there on my most recent visit. And it says, "What section you from?" And anybody who is from Greendale will know what I'm talking about with that. But basically, the funny thing about Greendale is it was established in the 30s out of Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal as an experimental village that combines the best parts of suburban living with urban living, so that sidewalks are very walkable. There's a lot of small businesses, houses for single family dwellings that are very accessible and affordable, and it's all meant to be a really nice, family oriented, community driven place. And one thing they did was arranged all of their neighborhoods by alphabetical sections. So the closer you were to Village Hall, the higher up in the alphabet your section was. So A, B, and C sections were really close to Village Hall, and as you move further away, folks like myself, I lived in the S section. Still nice, still a great place to live, just a little further down the alphabet. And the funny thing was that when you were growing up, asking people where they lived and stuff, you would always say, "Hey, what section you from? What section you from?" And it really made it super easy to just always know, how to get to any given place in Greendale. So it was this quaint little thing, and that's just the kind of place it was. Even the sidewalks were a little bit more deliberately narrow, so people were encouraged to say hello and things while they were passing each other. I miss that kind of stuff during quarantine time. But anyway, to connect that back to the strategic planning stuff, I see tons of clients all the time spending a lot of time on things that just shouldn't matter. One example yesterday was folks at this healthcare organization trying to decide the difference between an initiative and a goal and a measure and a tactic. And like these are all just words. And the thing about strategic planning and project management or leadership in general is sometimes people just have an opinion of their own for how terms and things should work and what they mean to them. But you have to remember that when you are explaining how something important like a strategic plan or a process for how your team should work functions, it has to be able to translate not just from you to other people, but from you to those people to everyone else that they work with in order for it to scale and be simple enough to understand. Because the problem we're trying to solve in these situations is never, hey, we need people to memorize these definitions. The problem we're trying to solve is always around communication, better organization, more consistency around managing our strategic plans. So you can apply that to anything. Ask any teacher who's been struggling, working as hard as they can to help support kids during this remote learning period, which COVID has been an unbelievable challenge for everybody. But you know, ask somebody like that. Ask any doctor. Every process, every way that you work, it should be as simple as possible so that it easily translates from person to person. So, I guess connecting it back to the Greendale example, I think they did it right. It's just a simple thing where it's kind of goofy, it's kind of silly, but it was just kind of a nice thing that anybody can relate to, anybody can immediately understand. Oh, right, yeah, so you're from that section, so you're kind of close to me. You have to remember that any single process or thing that we define has to be able to be understood by any person on the first explanation for things to be as successful as possible. So let me know if you have any examples like this. I'm biased. I love my hometown. It's a cute little place. But I think it's just such an important thing that anytime you feel like we might be overthinking something, you're probably right, at least to an extent. Keep it simple.